Hi everyone, today we are going to be upgrading and restoring this old MacBook. It's got a Core 2 Duo processor. We are going to be upgrading the RAM and installing an SSD to make it a lot faster. We are also going to be cleaning the internals. So I'm going to walk you through that process, and there will be timestamps down in the description. And if you want to see a certain part of the video, you can check that out. Anyway, let's get into the video. This is going to be quite a long video, but like I said, just use the timestamps if you don't want to watch it all. And so, let's get to it. Well, here it is. This is the MacBook. And as we can see, there are some stickers here. And there's one that's not in camera. It says running slow, then there's bad battery and stuff like that. And so we can see that, it has some issues right here. I have already opened this up. And now if we look at the bottom cover, we can see it's the rubber is kind of coming up here, and it's not in the best condition. And that is just kind of how these older ones get. Apple actually had a replacement program for a period of time because these would pucker up the rubber and stuff because they're completely rubber on the bottom. Anyway, so here is the MacBook, and as we can see, there is this hard drive. So the reason why it was running slow, this hard drive is failing. And so we are going to be replacing it with a solid state drive. I would do that either way, whether or not it is failing, but it is extremely slow and it's almost unusable. And so then we have this optical drive, which I haven't actually tested to make sure it reads disks, but it seems to be working good so far. And then we have RAM, and this is actually 5 gigabytes of RAM. So it's originally shipped with 2 gigabytes, but it was upgraded. So I actually have another one of these, and this one has a good condition bottom cover. So I'm going to replace the bottom cover with this one, and then it also came with 5 gigabytes of RAM. So I'm going to piece it together and try to get 8 gigabytes running in this. It also has a battery, but it's not, a very good battery. It's just, an older one. It's got 800 cycles on it, and it's not in the best health, but at least it works. And we are going to upgrade this. So, well, we need to get started on this. So what I'm going to do, well, first of all, let's remove this hard drive. So what I'm going to do for that is get a screwdriver. So I'm going to get this. And to remove the hard drive, you just take out these screws. And I don't think I mentioned this, the battery was quite swollen, and that's why I have removed it. So there is no battery in here right now, but I'm going to replace that with the other. Okay, so we removed this piece. And so after that is done, we can pull up this and then disconnect this. Now we have these little screws, and we will remove these later when we are installing the solid state drive. But we have the hard drive removed now, and then the RAM is pretty easy as well. We just unclick these and we can remove them. So if we look here, there is a 1 gigabyte module, which these are kind of rare, but it originally had these. So what I'm guessing is that they just bought this one and then, saved one of the original sticks to make it 5 gigabytes. Now I'm going to pull up a guide to remove the logic board. You can find these on ifixit.com, and they are very useful guides. So let me pull one up really quick. Alright, so I have pulled up the guide, and I also got my screwdriver kit out. So I have this screwdriver kit. It's got all sorts of bits and this screwdriver, which accepts them. So the first thing we need to do is remove these vents up here. So what I'm going to do is get the appropriate screws. so we will need a T8 Torx. So that's this bit right here. So I just need to put that on and remove these screws. And it also helps to keep your screws organized. You can use a organizer or you can just lay them out on a table, as long as you don't have the device open for long, because if you do, then they will start to get scattered if you are in the area. So I guess we have 2 more on the other side. Seems like a lot of screws to secure these rear vents. And a lot of heavy-duty screws. But anyway, we can pull out these vents. It doesn't look too dirty, but I'm going to be cleaning everything anyway. So we have that, and what's the next step? Well, now we can disconnect this right here, and then we can disconnect the fan cable. So right here, I'm going to get a little spudger. Now you want to be careful with these little connectors because they can break very easily. This is not the best condition tool. There we go. Now we can remove the fan screws. So what I will do is put in my other bit again. Well, we got those out, and then we can remove the fan. There will be a lot of dirt here that we will need to remove. And that's why we're doing this, because we don't need to replace the logic board. It's just that we want to clean it really well. And we could take the whole keyboard out and clean it too, but I don't think that that's really necessary because it requires a lot of extra steps and stuff. Now these, you have to be extremely careful on these because they can break very easily. There we go. Now we can pry the optical drive connector up. And I will need to test that optical drive. Now we can undo these connectors right here, which are also very brittle. There we go. There we go. Now the trackpad ribbon cable. And then this keyboard connector. Now these are a little bit tricky, but what I found is you just put a tool in there and they come out. Now the hard drive cable connector. Now these. And these are also the brittle kind. There we go. Now what we want to do, there is this, which is a little bit strange how this comes up. But you want to pull it out in this direction. That is for the display. Now we can start unscrewing the logic board. Alright, that is all unscrewed. And now we can carefully peel away the cables and stuff and get the logic board out. Now another thing, there is a separate board for the MagSafe connector, so you just got to be careful there. And this is the logic board. We can set that aside for now. And then there is some stuff in here, but I'm going to go ahead and, well, actually, let's clean the logic board first. I'm going to remove the optical drive, but for now, let's set aside this computer and clean the logic board. So let's flip this over, and you can see there is quite a lot of dirt there. Now, one thing you will need in cleaning this, if you ever attempt this, is some isopropyl alcohol. It is very helpful in just getting everything cleaned up. And so what we are going to do here is remove the heatsink. Now these screws are a little bit weird sometimes because they have springs under them. There we go, and we can take everything out, all these screws right here, and let's see how this thermal paste is. Yep, it's pretty crusty as I expected, so let's scrape it off. Alright, so I got the thermal paste off and then I actually vacuumed this. Now I do not recommend that you vacuum the logic board because there may be static and stuff if you use like a brush. to vacuum it. But what I will do is give it a good cleaning here. Well, a fairly good cleaning anyway. And you may be wondering, since I'm putting alcohol on these, you may be wondering, well, you're not supposed to get computers wet. Why would you do this? Well, it's actually, not gonna rust it. That's the main reason we're using this stuff. It's a good cleaning solution, and it will not rust components. And then as long as they're not powered, they won't get short-circuited. Like this, is disconnected from the battery. And so we can't do any damage as long as it doesn't get rusty. So I'm just going to go through here, and it's not going to clean it perfectly, but it will be a lot better. And then we will apply some new thermal paste to the chips here. And one is the processor, one is the graphics. And so in the newer ones, well, there's no newer ones, are the plastic ones, but in the newer like MacBook Pros and stuff, it is one chip. But in these older ones, it's a Core 2 Duo, which does not have, well, so this is not exactly discrete graphics, but it's not on the same chip. Anyway, I'm going to wet the other side here and continue cleaning this just a little bit. You just want to get these dies nice and clean. And then we will be ready to apply some thermal paste. Now on this one, depending on the model, the layout might be different, but on this chip, this is the NVIDIA graphics right here. There are some like capacitors or resistors. I think they're resistors that are around it. They're very small, so it's kind of hard to tell, but there are around that, and it's just kind of keeping me from removing all the thermal paste. But let's get some new thermal paste out and put it on. Hopefully that's enough. It will kind of press out more when we put the heatsink back on. There is a little bit here that I could get off. Okay, so that is the new thermal paste, and we got that all cleaned. So now we can put these back on. So you want to just press it down and then put these screws in. And I recommend, not screwing them all the way in and just kind of working your way around, tightening them gradually, just so that thermal paste threads good. So first thing you want to do is just get it aligned. So get at least 2 screws in there. Now just kind of go around and do everything. So these will help with temperatures and stuff, because the CPU will have better cooling. Well, the graphics as well, I guess. Everything will be able to be cooled better. Alright, hopefully that is good. And now what we can do is clean the MagSafe board right here. They get quite dirty. So I'm going to clean it the same way I've been doing everything else. It kind of seems like this is melted a little bit. There is like some plastic or something around it. But anyway, here is our refurbished, I guess you could say, logic board. And now what we can do is move on and take the optical drive out. So let me set these aside here and bring in the computer. So I'm just going to clean these up a little bit right here. Alright, here is the computer, and we can start taking out the optical drive. So to do that, we will need to remove this screw right here. This is actually the speaker. So remove that screw. That's quite a long screw. Then we have to remove a hidden screw. So it's actually in here. That is an interesting place to put a screw. Now what we can do is take this out. There is this little thing here. And then these are still attached. Now we don't need to take these off necessarily. But what we can do is remove these screws around the optical drive. Okay, we got this optical drive out, and this actually looks pretty clean in there. really the reason why I'm doing this is to clean it, although you can install a dual drive kit. I know you can get one from like iFixit or something, and you can install like a second hard drive into it. So if you do like a smaller SSD, you can get a large hard drive for your files. But let's clean these out. I didn't know what the condition would be like under here. Sometimes they can be pretty dirty. I guess it's not that bad though. Well, I guess that wasn't really that bad. We didn't really do anything there. But we can put these back into place. There we go. And now we can put these back on. That screw really didn't want to go in, but now we have that optical drive back in. So I did put it in off camera. Well, now we can clean these off right here. This is from the fan. The interesting thing about the fans on these is they actually suck in and blow out the hinge. Normally computers would just blow out, but let's see if we can find anything in here to clean. Let's switch over to a new side and try to clean the edge around the ports. They're not too dirty. The other computer was quite a bit dirtier. The other one that I have this like this. We can clean this rim around here. Alright, it's time to put the logic board back in. So what we can do is get it right here. And you want to make sure that this is in good, the MagSafe board. So just make sure everything's there. And what you want to kind of do is, well, first I'm going to put the MagSafe board in. But you want to kind of pull back the connectors. Make sure nothing gets stuck under. It's not super easy putting these back in. There, I think we have that. We just need to get these up like that and fix that down there. I think we got it all. Alright. So the MagSafe board might look out of place, but what you want to do is just put the screws in, because that will like adjust it properly. And if it still looks out of place, you can just loosen these screws a little bit and just move it till it's centered. There we go. Now we can put the logic board screws back in, and they're all the same. Now, one thing I would like to mention, this is definitely a very advanced cleaning procedure. And if you just want to give your computer a little upgrade, you don't have to do this all. You know, you can just upgrade the RAM and you can put in an SSD. That will give it a huge benefit. But I want to make sure this computer is nice and clean. So I got all these screws back in, and now we have to clip these fragile connectors back in. This one, you kind of have to be careful, of course. There. And now we can do, well, the fan needs some cleaning actually. Let's hold off on that. But I guess we have this already. Let's set it aside and clean the fan. Well, let's just set it right here. And then the fan has some screws on it, or at least one screw right here. So if we remove that and then unclip this, we can clean these out. Let me just go vacuum this really quick. Alright, so this is looking a lot better. Now what we can do is put these back together. So just put it like that and insert this screw. Well, I guess we put that screw in the wrong hole. That is supposed to be for the fan, so let me just back that out and put it in the proper location. I wasn't looking at the guide when I did this. It actually doesn't seem to be in there quite right. I think it goes here. Now the fan should seat properly. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now we can connect this cable back, and we can connect, well, that is a little bit pinched in there. All right, now we can put that down there and connect up the fan cable. Now that is all ready. So now what we will do is, let's take a look at these. So we need to remove these. Is this the right bit? Yes, that is the right bit. What we need to do is remove these from the hard drive, because these will be going into the solid state drive. Now what I need to do is crack open the other computer and get the solid state drive, battery and RAM. Alright, I am back with some stuff. So we have this stick of RAM right here. So let's install this. There we go. Now what we can do is put this one in, and our system will have 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now, I guess these screws, I forgot about this, but the solid state drive already has them. So this drive, I'm just going to connect it with the cable the other way, and install it there. Now what we will need to do is put on this to secure it in place. Now what we need to do, oh, I guess we forgot to put the vent back on. So let's go ahead and do that. And did we get that screw wrong again? We did. Where is this screw supposed to go? Oh, it must be right here. Now that better be the right place. All of that kind. And now the Torx ones. There we go. Now we can put the battery in. So what we are going to do is just put it down like that, and then screw it into place. Now there is an interesting screw head that we will need, and it's a 3-point one. Now fortunately I have it in my kit. It's just a 3-point head, and that's pretty much what you need to replace one of these batteries. But the batteries often do come with it. Now this is a used battery, so it does have 800 cycles, but it's definitely a lot better than the swollen one. And I'm not sure if the swollen one holds a charge. It didn't have any power in it when I tried to turn on the MacBook to begin with. Well, I think you're supposed to put these in first, but it should be fine. Switch our bit. Now what I'm going to do is connect the battery here. And now our system has power. And what I'm going to do is place this on the new bottom case. Now press the power button. Well, it appears to be working. That's a good sign. Let's turn that off. Let's put all these screws back in. Alright, so I have a fresh install of macOS High Sierra on this computer, and it's running so much better than it was with the hard drive. So I'm not able to do the screen recording because I can't get the MacBook to output to my screen capture device, but let's get on with the video. So I just want to show you what kind of performance you can expect from such an old device. So general OS usage seems pretty good. So if we go to about this Mac, just to show you that I am running on these specs, I have the Core 2 Duo 8GB of RAM and the SSD I installed. So let's go to Safari right here. Opened a lot quicker than it would on a hard drive. Let's go to Superuser projectile, my channel. There we go, and we can play videos here and everything like that. So I have the sound turned off here, so it's not annoying. But it's playing well right here. So video playback should be good on this device. And if we go and launch some other apps, so say we launched Notes, that comes up nice and quick right there. Messages, iTunes, just everything is so much quicker on an SSD. It's an essential upgrade for an old device. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Until next time, it's Fortnite Kiwi from Superuser Projectile.